just imagine if our marketing is constantly working, and for most of us, we would agree that we know the objections we're going to hear on a daily basis, that if we took enough time to build the right questions to overcome them, well, then there'd be no reason for us not obtaining all the goals we have. Because if the marketing is working, it's getting us in front of the total addressable market, which is renters and owners. And we know that 99.9% of the world is renting or owning outside of homeless, is that everywhere we go, there is a opportunity for us to connect with people. And if we know the objections, well, then there'd be no reason for us to not be in conversation where more opportunities present themselves to us. However, we know that in our industry, very few are closing over 20 plus homes a year and taking advantage of the abundance that this industry can provide to us. There are two reasons, and we're going to cover why real estate professionals tend to struggle or have a gap between closing somewhere between 12 to 18 and then progressing to 20, 30, 40, 50 throughout the year. So the first one is our focus. Overall, as you look at, the goal is signed contracts. And we're going to cover a very, very important fact that leads to why the majority of people do not, which is actually their marketing. But if the goal is signed contracts, then let's work back from the bullseye, which means then the next most important area of focus is appointments, leads, contacts, and the rest of it getting organized, incomplete projects, drama. That really is missing the bullseye by a big mark. So right away, while you go through this training checklist, if you want a clear, simplified understanding of why may I be or not be closing 18 plus homes a year, is first off, we have to focus on no more than 4 areas of focus, which is signed contracts, but we know that's the bullseye. So that's the goal. So really, how do I get closer to that is appointments, leads, and contacts. Nothing else really matters. And as you go through this course, you'll be quite organized as you look at utilizing your CRM. But then the next part really is the multiple funnels of business and follow-up strategy. The number one reason why agents struggle closing 12, 18, 24 homes a year is because they do not have 4 proven sources of business that are generating leads and ultimately revenue. See, as you look at Tom Ferry looking at the open house, your center of influence, your sphere, farming, and digital marketing, online lead generation, social media, video, these are all sources that if specifically we worked on a daily basis how to contact people in those areas, how to generate conversation or opportunities that would generate leads, is that over time, which is why for most people to get to that 18 to 20 plus deals a year, is that you have to have, and you can look at it quite simply, is if every one of these lead sources produced a deal a quarter, well, that'd be 16 transactions. But the problem is many of us only have center of influence database. We're not closing 4 homes a year from, and remember, you can choose other ones. You see in this slide here, as you go through this course, the goal is ultimately to have 8. So in that way, any given year, it's easy to do the 20 plus. And every 90 to 120 days, as you go to level 2, 3, 4 in this checklist, you start better understanding how to add a new lead source every 90 to 120 days. Overall, what you will experience is a painful process in the beginning in implementing a new revenue source, but then it will prove to start working because you'll be in more conversations. You'll have generated a lead. And ultimately, within about 120 days, you should find a client that in any 6-month period, you have now actually generated revenue from that specific lead source. So as you continue through this course, I just wanted to share with you, if you're curious, the number one reason, and I would love for you to share back with me, hey, Justin, that's me, or Justin, you're wrong. I'm actually closing 18 a year from only 2 revenue sources. If that's the case, just imagine what happened if you had 4. So from me to you, overall, let's stay focused, which is obviously why people tend to have a partner, mentor, coach in their corner to help you stay focused on a weekly basis. But the most important part is let's make sure over the next 12 months, you have created 4 funnels for your follow-up strategy in your marketing to generate opportunities from conversations, i.e. contacts, leads, appointments, to ultimately sign contracts.